Hey everyone, and welcome to our last panel discussion. It is Decentralized Innovations Founders Perspective on Eth Dubai conference. I have two dear friends, Kirill and Yazdan, both founders. This is their first time they were a part of an international conference. Before we start, would love to get your introduction, Kirill. Why don't you start with your background, what you're building, what's your product all about, followed by Yazdan.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the introduction. And hi, everyone. I'm Kiru. We are actually building a decentralized messaging protocol. Basically, you can send on-chain messages from one wallet to another. And the current problem right now, like literally, you see the address, the wallet address, but there is no idea how you can actually reach this person. You can go to Twitter, Telegram, and etc. But there is no direct, efficient way how to communicate with this project, with this wallet. And so we built this technology where actually all the messages and storage, everything happens on chain. We are supporting right now 17 chains, and you can actually send messages from one chain to another, like from Polygon to Ethereum, or whatever it is. Because one of the points we see that user experience is important, and for such thing as messaging, you shouldn't really care about like where is your address, in which chain you are. You just send wherever it's easier for you, and the recipient will get the message. But in terms of my background, we've been building it for about a year, but before that, I'm coming from investment banking background, like traditional corporate finance for about 5 years, but been looking into crypto since 2020, and actually was trying to think like when it's good time to start a project, and I thought that like infrastructure kind of project would be a good idea like a year ago.
Thank you, Kirill. That sounds quite exciting. Yes, then why don't you share your background and what you have been up to?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone, and nice to be here and glad to be here. I'm Yazdani, a core team member at BrightID and the founder of Unitab. Actually, I've been in crypto space since 2017, and BrightID is a privacy-first identity solution. I'm pretty sure that all of you knows Gitcoin. And if you want to set up your Gitcoin passport, one of those requirements is BrightID. So BrightID enables applications to make sure that the users don't have multiple accounts. And also, Unitab is an onboarding tool for networks and communities. So, crypto is tough. It's hard to understand. It makes it easier to understand and to onboard more users to crypto space. Yeah, this is all about Unitab.
Thank you, both of you. So I assume that this was your first international conference, as founders while building your products. So what was your experience, what are the insights? How did you feel, interacting with the international community as founders? What were the insights that you got? Would love to hear. Yazdani, why don't you start, and Kirill will follow up with your thoughts on that.
Yeah, sure. So Eth Dubai was pretty well and pretty awesome for me. I got connected to many people. I've been searching and looking around for potential partners before Eth Dubai, but I couldn't find some of those networks like Binance and Avalanche. But at Eth Dubai, I found those guys and got connected to them. And yeah, that was super cool. Also, my presentation went very well. So yeah.
That's great. Kirill, what about you?
Yeah, I think for us also, after building a year in the stealth mode, it was very important to meet people in person. And I think especially the Eth Dubai had quite a lot of founders and projects who you can talk personally rather than communicating in Discord or Telegram. So that was kind of a social interaction that we missed a lot after like COVID and all this stuff. But in terms of the quality of the projects, I also liked that there are many like the industry shifts to more of a user experience and like the application of the blockchain rather than just trading. I saw a lot of guys who are doing like very cool infrastructure projects. There are guys with the gamify, the social platforms. So yeah, enjoyed the conference, and probably gonna attend next one as well.
That's great. So what were the key insights that you felt, or the benefits you had as, being first-time founders and, building out on your product and interacting? What were the good takeaways that you had, and the positives you felt being part of these global conferences? Kirill, why don't you share your thoughts here?
Yeah, so in terms of the key insights, I saw a lot of the projects really focusing on the infrastructure, and also the insights that while it is the bear market and there is still a space for building, if you are building an infrastructure project or something like this technologically advanced that the previous projects, it is the right time. I really like that you have an opportunity to be here to explore how it goes from the development standpoint, and not just focus on pumping and dumping. That is the most important point in crypto. And I'd say also very cool stuff on the regulations. I'm seeing that crypto is getting more adoption in real life and in Web 2. There were many projects with the off-ramp, on-ramp. There were guys who were trying to make use of the Web3 to just improve the traditional processes rather than just trading. So that's two of the key insights, and it helped also motivate ourselves and team for building more.
That's nice to hear, Kirill. Oh. What about you, Zatan?
Yeah, so I had a hard time with my entrance connection. So can you please repeat your question so I can give you some response?
Sure. So I was my question was, what was your experience being there for the first global conference while you're building your product? What were your key insights as a founder? How did it support you to looking at your overall vision?
Yeah, sure. So one of the most important problems, which I think they should solve for the next year, is that they provided something like demo pitch day, but I think those investors weren't there, and that was not a good model to book some projects like that and in that way. So they can instead look at some events like ETH Denver, which we've been participating for many years on the behalf of Bright ID, because two co-founders of Bright ID, Adam Solar and Philip Silva, are based in US, and so we participate all the year at ETH Denver. I think many things like that should get improved, and they can just only look at some events like ETH Denver. They're so cool and so professional. Yeah.
Thank you. So any particularly in your experience was some interesting folks that you met or interesting partnerships that you were able to make while you were present in these conferences? Would love to hear those experiences also. And what was that partnerships, and what was the company doing?
I met Andre, the founder of Phantom, and I got shocked because I realized that he knows Bright ID, and also he heard about Unitap. So I love that. Actually, I saw many people from Ethereum Foundation. I mean the growth lead of Ethereum Foundation. He has Bright ID on his phone, and I got shocked again. Also, in the case of XDC network, we did a really cool partnership. We added XDC network to Unitap, so all the users can obtain and claim a tiny amount of XDC to start using that network and to get onboarded on XDC network. So those are the cool partnerships and the cool people I met at Eth Dubai. Yep.
Interesting. What about you, Kirill?
I think for us, the first ones were the blockchains. as we were like going to this multi and cross-chain strategy, it was very cool to meet people in person, and especially some of the teams, like there were guys from BSC chain that when I said them that there is already a messaging protocol that you can send messages with, and the transaction would be on BSC chain, their reaction was very nice, and especially to get in touch after, and we actually keep a close connection after this conference. There was also a very important one for us is to get challenged by the guys from Consensus and MetaMask team, because one of the use cases we have is that we are integrating wallets. We are being integrated into wallets, so there is like already use case where a mobile wallet integrated messaging mailbox inside their app, and it was very nice to get challenged by this. By their dev team, and also just seeing what are the pain points we should look at when we are speaking with the wallets, and how we could approach these kind of integrations. And also was cool, very cool guys from NFT Free, the decentralized ID platform, also like had a nice touch.
Interesting. And how did you being part of these conference and meeting people from across the globe? How did it help you to understand your users better, or understanding how the adoption can go about with their for the application? What was that experience all about? Kirill, would love to hear your thoughts first, followed by you as well.
Yeah. So I'd say, since we're building something like a little bit new, like there are not that many projects that are right now have a mass adoption in terms of like on-chain messaging. It was just very nice to speak with actual founders who are in crypto industry for a long time. Would they actually use it or not? And our clients are mostly like the B2B it's mostly B2B business model. So our clients are partners. So with them, just to speak, for an hour or two, and actually discussing what kind of features they want to, how they look at this, like, language we write in, or the integration process, like that was very important for us. And I also say from the user perspective, it's just, when you are staying outside, and it's not like a formal part of the conference, but when you're just maybe at side event, maybe somewhere outside or drinking coffee, you just speak with people like, would you use it or not? That's a very important one, because we've spent a lot of time on customer development research before we actually launch the project. And when you do it on Discord and Telegram, sometimes the results would be biased, or they are like, you don't get mass of the very rich diversity of the audience, but there it's just perfect place to literally see if somebody gonna use it or not.
That's true. Online one doesn't get to get the emotions out that easily. When you're in person, you do understand their emotions through body language and actually know if they are speaking it or not speaking it. That's great. Yazdani, what about you? How was your experience in this?
Yeah, seeing those cool projects and all of those, talented builders who are building many projects in many fields in crypto space. It was so cool, and also getting challenged by some investors, and answering those hard questions. And that was also an important part for me, because that was the first experience. So yeah.
That's right. And while you were there, what were some of the trends that you picked up or you saw, which would help you with your particular product, what you're building, or seeing a larger vision, which help you to look at where all your product can be utilized, which you hadn't thought of earlier. So what were those trends that you felt worked well for your product here?
So sorry, I got disconnected for a few seconds. I don't know what the hell is going on with my internet connection.
No worries. Yeah. So just trying to understand, there would have been some trends or some approaches that you would have heard or taken up from different talks and panel discussion that you would have heard, or events that you had visited. So any particular trends that helped you to vision your product better, or understand the market is there and how things have worked out. So what was that for you, Yazdani?
Yeah, sure. Because Yeah, sure. Because Unitab is an onboarding tool, and actually, when you want to create something to onboard new people, it's really hard because we all are deeply involved in crypto ecosystem. We can understand really well those brand new users, those users, those newbies, and some of those feedbacks, changed my mind about how we want to onboard new users, and how should be the process, how should be the wording, the language of those onboarding, how should be the gamification of the system, and that was so cool.
Thank you. What about you, Kiran?
Yeah, I think for us, there was a trend, like so many projects doing gamify, like literally trying to make very like native Web2 UX user experience, but there is some blockchain and wallet behind the user, behind the application. And spoke to several founders, and we were trying to see like, is there any kind of like chats needed between users, or like would the actual communication exist there? And I got several like positive feedbacks from several founders, and it actually changed a little bit my mind that we had these kind of partners, like target clients in our backlist, in our plan, but we wouldn't prioritize them before this conference. Right now, I actually see that there are many users who are not about investing, they're not about like trading, etc., but they just want to play games and enjoy, have fun, and there is also a huge product market opportunity to capture. That's what I think.
Interesting. So any particular thoughts you would like to share for the new founders who are not able to go? What key insights they can look at if they're looking at solving a particular problem, or they're trying to find a problem? What are the areas you felt one can look at, and these are the areas, or these are the particular use cases one can start exploring in terms of building a problem statement for themselves and their products. Following that.
Should I start? Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay. I'd say like first one, I would say like an administrative one, like literally get prepared for the conference. That was like the first one, like the major conference for me. And you literally need to go through the list of projects that is participating there, because during the conference it's very hard to find the exact person and like to get in touch with them. So I'd say like be prepared. That's the biggest insight if someone is deciding to go. And by the way, guys, thanks for organizing such feedback like late sessions. It is very important. But from the like what probably projects missed or not, like what kind of insights, I already mentioned like the better UX, and the guys on the previous panels also mentioned this, because crypto unfortunately is very bad, has very bad user experience. You have to sign a lot of stuff, get a smart contract called, and once again connect wallet and switch the network, breach tokens, and etc. And such a pain process that literally kills all kind of motivation to use the app. So that's why we are right now came back. We spoke with our dev team, and we are like trying to improve it as much as possible so that users don't have to click it several times. And also maybe a few more insights that a lot of the projects I saw there were really like trying to bootstrap the business for the whole like 2 or 3 years. They did a lot of MVP, like they already had an MVP. Some guys had like the full exchange with the wallet and etc. But they never tried to speak to the community before. So not the community, but like the investor community, whatever, like partners. They were just mostly focused on developing the code. And I'd say the biggest insight for me was that you need to go out at some time, and you can do it online. Like I saw a lot of the guys who were going through the from one conference to another. They said like they're attending twice a month every conference, but they're not trying to do their homework, like prepare the list of partners they need to speak with, prepare the list of investors, try to really think about the go-to-market before attending the conference and asking the guys during the coffee. So I'm saying that a lot of the projects really also need to do a lot of homework. That's for sure.
Yeah, not really much from my side, because Kirill just said those things I wanted to mention. But I want to mention something. When I met Andre, I asked him to give me an advice, and he told me that we are. We had a time in an internet history, and we had dial-up internet, and we are in that phase in blockchains and crypto space. So blockchains are not scalable, but he suggested all the projects rather than expected than DeFi to stay in the game. And work on their project to make it better, and wait until we have more scalable blockchains that enables many projects to and many use cases to get built on those systems or blockchain. And also maybe some things like hybrid smart contracts can help with that. And yeah, this is something that I think we should care about.
Thank you. And what are your future plans for your projects? How does 2023 look for you guys? Any particular updates coming up? Any partnerships you're looking forward to? Or what's the scene like? Would love to learn more about your each projects from.
Yeah, sure. So we are partnered with almost all the major EVM networks. So the plan is to continue with non-EVM ones, and actually in the next week we are going to add Solana, and after that we are going to add Bitcoin Lightning Network. And each user can obtain a tiny amount of Sol or a tiny amount of Satoshi on those networks, to start using those networks, to start working with them, learn about those networks, and get involved in those ecosystems. Also, we have 6 taps in Unitab. We call them taps just because of branding, and we are gonna launch those taps. And if anyone wants to know more about the whole Unitab and the whole thing, they can type unitab.app in their browser, and they can find us, and also reach out to us if there's something interesting to say. Yeah.
Thank you, Azani. What about you, Kirill?
I think for us, there will be release of the integrations that we've been going through for the past couple of months. So there will be 3 projects with the different use cases where on-chain messaging actually helps. Like the first one would be a DID platform that is going to be like users of a DID platform not going to only have their own like digital identity profile, but they will be also able to publish a content the same way you put it in Twitter. They're going to be able to speak with each other. That's the first one to be released soon. The second is the wallet integration. The guys already almost finished and now in test mode for the mobile wallet. That's like the native mailbox for all the users of the application. And the third one, we are actually waiting it for a long time. There is an HR platform that makes games for developers. So, and based on how they are good at Solidity, they are getting ranked. And based on this level, on their scores, the HRs will be able to text each developer. But we are also working on such a feature called pay-per delivery. It's where you actually have to pay a user before he gets your message. And for this platform, it will be like if you're a top developer, HR would pay $100 to actually reach you. If you're less skilled, it will be less amount, and etc. So these free integrations, it's like they're gonna go probably from next month until June, and really waiting for those. But in terms of the product developments, we are already on the old EVM chains and now getting tone-based chains. And probably soon we're going to move to Rust chains like Solana and Year, Su, Aptos.
That sounds quite interesting roadmaps for both of you and an exciting 2023. Just before my last question, we all see that you have, hustled and reached the stages where you are, and we all heard about, your future roadmaps. Would also like to understand, what were some of the challenges that you faced while you were developing this app, your particular projects, and how did you overcome those? So just trying to help these young upcoming folks, trying to build how they can learn from this aspect.
I'd say the hardest challenge was like how to actually get a team to do so, like the founding team. We actually managed to have a perfect fit, like perfect diversification of the founders. One of the guys was an expert portfolio manager in crypto hedge fund. He's like in crypto for 6 years and knows a lot about it. Our CTO was like 12 years in development, and I'm actually coming more like communication BD roles because I was previously like investor relations manager, banker. But the hardest challenge was how to actually get not to get lost, because you are still doing it on yourself. You move to it full time, and you are bootstrapping it probably. Because I remember we almost like get broke, everyone, and that's not what you want to happen. So my personal advice to everyone. To grow, to network, and who's going to actually help you finance this project, and especially advice from VCs is sometimes much more important. And I think it's not sometimes, but it should be more important than the money you get. And so once you start speaking earlier with them, it's both like a winning situation for both of you, because otherwise you're going to build it for 2 years and then probably gonna hurt some other areas of your life. That's I think very important for you.
Yes. Yeah. Then what about you?
Yeah, really good response and answer. And actually, they said the same with us and with my experience. But also, I should mention something else, that one of the most challenging thing is that to raise some significant amount of funds to build something non-DeFi, because many investors and many angel investors and VCs are looking for DeFi protocols and DeFi projects, because it takes less than some long-term projects like Unitapp, because it's an onboarding tool. You need to do many things. You need to onboard many people to monetize this platform, but it's not the same with DeFi protocols. So it's also challenging, and it's also hard to explain these things and the value of these kind of projects to investors. Yeah.
Thank you, and I hope you
if I have 1 minute, I would like to say something about Unitapp and do some elevator pitch, so you guys know more about it. Is it fine?
Yes, please.
So when you want to get onboarded to crypto, what's the first thing you need? You need a wallet, right? So first you need to know how to safely install and also work with the wallet, because if you don't know how to safely work with the wallet, you've got hacked. But what is next? What's the next step? You need a tiny amount of gas token, right, on a network. So to do that, you have 3 options. Your second option is to ask someone to give you some of those gas token, and if you don't know anyone, no way. Your third option is to use a fiat to crypto exchange, buy that gas token with your fiat currency and then withdraw that, which is hard for a new user. But your first option is to use Unitapp. So on Unitapp, everyone can claim a tiny amount of gas token on almost all the huge and major EVM network, weekly for free. And all they need to have is a verified Bright ID account. So this is just the beginning. and you have your gas token right in your wallet. What is next? You need some other ERC20 tokens, for example, to start doing some swaps, do some bridges, buy an NFT, vote on something, and we shouldn't care about the value of those tokens. They may worth nothing, but also you can claim those tokens on Unitap too. And after that, you have your gas token and also other kind of tokens right in your wallet. And now there are many tasks ready for you to complete to learn every basics of crypto. Because that the problem of the current learn to earn platforms is that they don't teach users how to take the very first steps. The first quest or the first task is to do a swap on Uniswap mainnet. It doesn't make sense. But there's a quote from a famous guy, and he says, "Show me and I will forget. Tell me and I think I may remember. Involve me and I will understand." So we involve people with crypto. We give them a tiny amount of gas tokens, some other tokens, and do some incentivization, gamification, and they will learn every basics of crypto in an educational program. And also after that, any projects can create their tasks on Unitap to incentivize users, to reward users to work with their project and get involved and familiar with their projects. So yeah, thanks for giving me this time.
Kirill, you also want to share a bit about your project, and then we can take final comments from you guys in the session.
Yeah, of course. It's not probably going to change much from the introduction, but the pitch would be next way. I take the first one, like how you ever gonna reach the wallet? Like that's almost impossible. But there are also the solutions. There are other communication protocols in the market, and we actually have the list like dozens of names who actually try to do so. But there is a big idea and like core value of all Web3 users, at least what they are all claiming, is like decentralization and not being reliant on some kind of centralized party. So that's why we actually did it on chain, and we did it on chain on existing chains. We didn't create our own private network of nodes. We didn't do our own servers, not our even L2. That's already reliant on the communication on the blockchain's existing infrastructure. And moreover, like imagine you're opening the access to reach any kind of wallet. And are you sure that like the top wallets with the million, like the whale wallet's not gonna get spammed? Like I'm quite sure like everyone would text a message if this user actually uses the app with the mailbox, and the users are getting spammed. So that's why we did it on chain, which means like all the financial transactions are in the same layer as the communication transactions. Like it's basically a transaction on the blockchain, and we are able to set any kind of smart contract logics on top of these messages. We will be this paper delivery or paywall feature that we are going to launch soon. Yes, like you can actually set the commission. You can do a whitelist and a blacklist and etc. So that's why we did it on chain, and I'm quite sure there are many use cases. I would be happy to share them more. And actually visit the website.
Thank you, Kirill. Thank you, Yazdani. Any last thoughts you have for our audiences you would like to share?
Yeah. I just want to say thank you for organizing the event and inviting me. As I mentioned, it's also very hard to meet all the people on the conference, and especially you almost never hear all the panel speakers, and you just go around the conference, speak with different people who schedule the call, like a meeting with, and just to get some, probably like diverse feedback of what actually happened there, especially if you didn't have the chance to make it. It's very cool. So guys, thank you. I would be very happy to like listen for any other events you have such.
Thank you, Kirill.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, also I should appreciate it, about organizing this call and inviting me, and also please never give up and keep moving forward. This is the key. So
All right. Thank you, Azani. Thank you, Kirill, for joining us and sharing your thoughts. Thank you, everyone, and we will keep bringing you such sessions in future also. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a lovely